Right then, we must review some music.
Yes, we must. We have to do it.
So we'll run out of memory.
Keep putting it off, and recording more chat. That no one cares about anyway. Actually, people watch the chat, don't they? We generally get more viewers. Ian Anderson. This is our second one that was posted to us. Thank you very much. Homo Erraticus. The tour edition is the one I was sent. Very nice, and you've got a DVD and etc. etc. Very cool. The whole thing was performed live on the tour. Ian Anderson. Now we've got to be careful here because we could very easily just end up reviewing Thick as a Brick 2, because that's the thing we both heard and we went to the concert and all that stuff. And the live release of that came out the same year as this. I think it was before or after. I always thought that was a bit strange that they were kind of not synchronised properly. This should come out after that, surely. But this, or at least you would expect it to be. This is his Escape album, Escape from Jethro Tull. So Thick as a Brick 2 allowed him to do it. Supposedly, Shulman, I can't remember his name, Steve Shulman, Barry Shulman, Grant Shulman said to him, well, what happened to Gerald Bostock? Why don't you do that? Oh, okay. Can I do it as a solo album, not as Jethro Tull? Yeah? Okay. So this is his Escape, and it's all about he's fed up with the noisy audiences and that stuff, and when he tours as Ian Anderson, he only gets the good guys, the good contingent, or something. It's an interesting thing. So in a way, this album is the one where, well, he can make this a success. He doesn't have to do Jethro Tull anymore. I assume he did. That does seem like it. But if you think he's escaping from rock, people wanting sort of metal stuff, and because he just wants to do folk, doesn't he? No, straight away. I mean, the first song is metal, actual metal, not a bit metallic, actual old school metal. It's not Korn, but it is old school metal, probably. It is the usual Ian Anderson melodies. But as I said, they perform the whole album on the tour, as is their tradition with a concept album. That's what you're supposed to do, isn't it? So it's good that he sort of went back to doing that. And it is very much the sequel to Thick as a Brick 2. No surprises. That in itself is interesting. I think there are no surprises. You already know what it sounds like if you've heard solo Ian Anderson, and it's cool.
Yeah. I'll tell you what struck me about this is I quite like Ian Anderson now and Jethro Tull and stuff like that. As I've said before, this been one of the best things we've reviewed. I think this emphasises how important his voice was.
Yes.
And his voice is quite quiet on this. I don't know if they've turned it down in the mix, and he's definitely not got the vocal gymnastics that he had for things like Valhalla.
Well, yeah.
Obviously, and it does sort of take something away from the music, which is a shame because I always thought I liked Ian Anderson because he's a very, very good composer. He's someone who can put together flute and guitar and drums and whatever in a really, really cool and interesting manner.
Yes.
I always thought I liked him for that. And it actually turns out, his voice is just as important to the music he makes.
I mean, you could argue he can't sing the melodies anymore, or at least he does a bit, but he can't do the full. He can't keep his full voice for the whole melody, kind of thing. So when the melody is the key thing in that kind of music, and he's having to ad lib a bit and sort of that changes the music. Because that style of music, it's that tune is happening, and he can't really do that anymore. I mean, it was always stylized vocals. It was a strange voice, because he's was kind of baritone, but he was singing up there. Was always a strange thing. So it was always very stylized, but it actually was always very melodic. And it's not that it's not; he just can't really do it anymore.
Yeah, which is a shame.
Yeah. I mean, I say anymore. I mean, it's been the same for 20 years.
I don't know if he could, I don't understand why the vocals are so low in the mix. I don't know if you found that. But it's actually a struggle to hear.
Oh, okay.
Hear what he's saying.
It does depend in the modern age how you listen to it. I mean, this is the thing that a lot of things I listen to It's either in the car, well, it's probably MP3, or hopefully a CD, or it's in surround sound, well, stereo played through surround sound in a garage-shaped room, you know, and it's going to sound very different in a garage-shaped room with you know. So it's possible I'm going to hear it because it's in that speaker or whatever, but actually in the mix it might be a bit lower. I'm not surprised he's putting the vocals lower because he's struggling.
Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it?
I mean, he actually damaged his voice in '84. Actually, that's when he first had problems. And the next album, Christopher Nye, that really good '80s album, that's the famous one. It is that one. He sings like Mark Knopfler, and they did like a Dire Straits thing. But the reason was because he was having trouble with his voice and he really wanted to take it easy. But I think his voice was permanently damaged. I think, and I'm sure it wasn't that bad in the early '90s, but it was a decline in it, and the sort of the thing he does because he doesn't want to, works better, and bits work better than others. I suppose you could argue, couldn't you? But it is a shame.
Yeah.
Very short tracks.
Yeah.
Loads of tracks. There's only a couple of sort of rock length tracks of 4 or 5 minutes. I think there's one that's like 7 minutes. I think, yeah. Which is interesting, but that's because it's the folky thing, isn't it? So it's written differently. But some great tunes. I think I prefer Thick as a Brick 2 overall, but it's very similar. But that and that I suspect he's kind of in. You could argue he's gone into a cul-de-sac. In that it all sounds like that now. It sounds like Ian Anderson music. It sounds like Jethro Tull music. Latter days Jethro Tull music, and it is that composition limited by the keys and stuff, so you can sing it. Maybe I don't know, but it's funny that the whole point of Jethro Tull is that it's unpredictable. That's the thing that annoys some people. They want a groove, and it doesn't. It goes boom, which is a very proggy thing, and this does that, but very predictably so. That's what you could argue. Yeah. We've been very down so far on it. It's funny, the things to say about it are negative, but
it's because we are comparing it to some really, really good stuff, aren't we?
Yes.
in our heads, you think Aqualung and Minstrel and Thick as a Brick.
It should probably be compared to Rock Island and what's it called? There's the really good one, which is called Roots to Branches. That's what you should compare it to, I think, really, and Thick as a Brick 2. And that's the thing. The fact that it's a solo Ian Anderson album just means it's not Martin Barre. That's all that means. And he, who did have an input into the writing a bit. That is literally all it means. And the guitarist on here is the other guitarist, his solo guitarist. And of course, even when Jethro Tull was still going, and he was doing solo tours and Jethro Tull at the same time, they would chop and change individuals when they weren't available anyway. So it's not a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a big Martin Barre. Is it Barre or Bar? I don't know if he was joking when he says Martin Barre. I've never been a big fan. And I was amazed. People really rate him, People sing his praises, what fantastic guitarist he is. So, but yeah, for me, he's always been very average. And so that really doesn't matter. The other guy is probably better for me. I don't know. It's a concept album, isn't it?
Yeah.
Obviously, it is the history of man. It's one of them. But through the prism of that Gerald Bostock went to a shop and found an old book by someone, a historian, and this is Gerald Bostock's telling of him reading the book. It's about history, and apparently it's inconsistent as well. The website said one thing, and the CD said something else, and so there's inconsistencies about the story, which I think is deliberate. I think that's quite funny. I think I like that because it's not real. Because Gerald Bostock isn't real. And so it's really well written. There's really nice melodies, and that's it. And
it does sort of speak. Why is modern? I mean, this is a prog album, yeah.
It certainly is.
why is modern prog album so difficult to get excited about?
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? How it is prog. So it doesn't matter when it's recorded, surely. So it's recorded now or it's recorded in the 70s. It's still prog and we like it. Why is that derivative? Why is it retrogressive? Retroprog. Even in Anderson, let alone bloody IQ or something. Much less exciting. That spark isn't maybe not there. Maybe I don't know. Bit harsh on Ian Anderson, but certainly
it is really. I mean, he's sort
neo-prog. The neo-prog thing certainly is. They're doing the same thing, but then.
Well, the neo-prog thing, it always sounds like they're doing an impression of prog. Yeah. Ian Anderson can't be doing an impression of prog.
Exactly. Because he is prog. Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of, and yet it comes across as sort of I'm not very excited about this for some reason. Yeah, it's got everything there that should make you sit up and go whoo. That's what we like. Maybe it's the K-Scope label.
The what?
K-Scope isn't
Oh yeah, K-Scope.
Hang Cannot Erase and all that. Stephen Wilson. Isn't that the sort of modern prog label?
Modern prog. Yeah, and of course, and ironically, of course, the thing about Ian Anderson is he's spent his career saying that we're not prog. We only did 2 prog albums. He doesn't want to be prog.
My revival shall be this massive.
They are prog. Sorry. And the later albums are more prog than,
maybe you could say their relationship to prog is similar to Pink Floyd's in that maybe strictly they're not prog, but there is enough prog elements for proggers to be really into them. Yeah,
but with Jethro Tull, the actual music is actually prog, whereas Pink Floyd isn't at all.
Yeah, okay.
It's just the actual notes are actually, and Songs from the Wood and all that is much more proggy than the Thick as a Brick and Passion Play. Actually, they're just not massive 20-minute things. And later as well, Roots to Branches and all the stuff that's going on there. It's very, very proggy. But it's and that's interesting. Ian Anderson wants to disassociate himself with those people and the rowdy audience and making a lot of noise. And there's an argument that the reason Passion Play is so noisy is because the audience was noisy. So he moved away from the acoustic guitariness and into saxophone.
Saxophone. Yeah, okay, cool. Have you said everything you want to say about it?
Probably. I don't think we've really reviewed the album, but that's... Sorry.
Well, there's lots of songs, isn't there?
Yes.
Some good songs, some alright songs, some take it or leave it songs.
Yes. Yeah, and it's history of humanity, and the last 3 songs are actually in the future, aren't they?
Revelation.
And we've got a bit of Latin. Per Errationes Ad Astra. I know Ad Astra means to the stars. Per Errationes, I don't know what that means. Maybe the error of travelling to the stars, the folly, maybe, of trying to travel to the stars. Because the next song is called Cold Dead Reckoning. Which is pretty good. I quite like that one. Maybe... I like Doggerland, that's really good. Puer Ferox Adventus, sorry. That's really good as well. So yeah, but it's okay and it's good. So I don't know. Maybe it's just the time we listen to it, context. Maybe if we listen to it in 6 months' time, we think, "Oh wow, this is really good." I don't really know. So it's 3 eggs, I think.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Which is a shame because the guy who sent us that, he didn't do that, did we?
Yeah, of course, it's Daniel Moore.
It's Daniel Moore.
Yeah, one of our main viewers,
commenters.
Yeah,
friend of the channel.
Yeah, a supporter.
Yeah. Because he's actually signed up to Patreon as well.
Yeah, if you want to make a request, we'll do that as well.
Yeah.
We'll try to like it more. But, this is still going back into Kevin's bag and staying in his CD collection. That's definitely happening.
Yeah.
I've got lots of CDs now.
Yeah, okay, cool. What are we going to do next? Because we've still got a few CDs that people have sent us, haven't we?
Yes, I'm trying to think now. So when this is coming out? We're 2 weeks ahead at the moment, so it's a bit confusing. we're talking about making playlists that you can't see on YouTube because we got confused. We've got old chats and we don't know which one is supposed to go out next. And we're also recording the ones for the premium Patreon stuff. We're doing that as well at the same time, just to confuse the hell out of what we're doing. So if Trespass suddenly arrives on the on the thing,
which I'm pretty sure it will have by the time.
Yes, that's true. You should already be able to get that, but only with the Patreon. Patreon.com/WentonKing.
Ooh.
Buy us a coffee. You can hear us talk about Genesis again. And we are doing Nurture Crime as well. That is coming too.
Yeah. www.patreon.com/WentonKing.
WentonKing. I would suggest putting the beards on, but yeah, www/Wenton. No,
also,
Patreon.
Not everyone would have that. So there is an affiliate link down below.
Oh yeah,
yeah. We'll get turns out we get about 15 pence if someone actually buys it. So we get
if you want
some biscuits, not a whole packet, but yeah, if you're going to buy it.
If we get 4 purchases, basically that's
6 egg album now.
Yeah, suddenly I'll definitely buy it.
6 egg album.
All other people will be really excited about it. Yeah. So yeah, thank you very much.
See you next week.
Yeah, and we won't put the beards on.